Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. I hope that you all are doing well. First of all, before I continue today's conversation, I want to say thank you so much to all of you that's reached out to me over the last week and a half or so for your messages. I see them. I know I have a few more messages that I need to respond to in my inbox. I appreciate your support and your just love that you have shown me over the last week and a half because it's been a struggle. It's been personally, just emotionally exhausted, physically drained, and being able to share where I was at during those moments on social media of all places um, definitely attest to the power of being vulnerable and being able to tap into community support and getting that love and support from your community. So thank you all very much for that. I do appreciate it. If you're connecting with me live, let me know where you're connecting from in the chat and like how are you feeling today. All right, how are you feeling today? One word that you can use to really describe how you're feeling today. If you're watching the replay, of course, let me know how you're feeling and let's talk it out and let's come together as a community. And so throughout the challenges that I was going through over the last week and a half, I start thinking about the importance of cultivating a wardrobe um, that really allows us to not only express ourselves but allow us to feel good, that allow us to put our well-being front and center. And so let me just go to that chat. Thank you very much, Zafrine, for popping in. I appreciate it. Content. Yeah, it's content. Like that's a good way of expressing how you're feeling. So thank you very much for that. And so yeah, so I started to think about how do we foster and really cultivate a wardrobe that allow us to feel good, especially in those moments when we're not feeling good, especially in those moments when we need additional support outside of maybe therapy or talking to a friend or walking, right? Just being able to love the body that we're in. And so I wanted to have this conversation of how can you the connection between your wardrobe and your well-being. And so I just want to say before I continue, I want to say thank you very much, Stephen, for popping in. I appreciate you. I appreciate your support. I appreciate your messages. You've been a tremendous, tremendous support during these challenging time for me, and I appreciate you so much for being there, even when I didn't have the words to really express how I felt. But yes, I'm gonna hold my tears back on this because we we've all gone through different challenges, changes, transitions over not just the last 2 years. I mean, for some of us, we've gone through different changes even before the pandemic happened, and we're trying to find ways to cope with those challenges and changes that we're going through. And so one thing I realized that yes, we do talk about depression, yes, we do talk about anxiety and what like techniques and coping mechanisms to be able to deal with that, whether or not that's seeing a therapist or talking to someone. Some of the things that I mentioned before, I find sometimes we don't talk about it a lot, about the different shifts that we're going through right in life and the different changes that we're going through and how those changes and shifts can impact how we see ourselves, how not just what we wear but our self-love and our self-esteem. And as you know, as women, especially as women, we go through so many changes in life. There's premenopause and there's menopause, and if you're a mom and you may have suffered postpartum depression, and we go through so many changes to the point that getting dressed and loving our bodies feels like it's such an emotional task, right? Coming to that space where we can say I love myself and I love my body while we're going through all these different changes can be difficult. And so I wanted to really talk about the importance of cultivating and building a wardrobe that allows you to express that side of happiness that you seek. And so a couple of reasons or a couple of signs just to kind of talk about, let me just go here to just to share with you. I'll talk about some signs. Let's talk about some signs that you may see in your wardrobe that's really affecting you emotionally, the distress, like the emotional distress, that wardrobe. If you have any of these, if any of these resonate with you, definitely let me know in the chat. Just say yes, this one, and we'll talk about it. And so some signs that your wardrobe is causing you emotional distress: negative self-talk about your body. For a lot of us, whether or not you gain weight, lost weight, there may have been some changes around your body, and so there is this private conversation that's happening in your head. And sometimes for some persons, they say that out loud. Some women will say it out loud. I've had clients who will say that to me, like, I'm too fat, or I hate my body right now, or I wish I had a better looking body. I wish I had that I felt physically attractive. And so these negative emotions that we constantly repeat in our heads, going into your closet, then it makes it difficult for you to get dressed, because you're not seeing your body from a place of love and appreciation. Instead, you are looking at your body from that space of shame and comparison, like feeling shame that you would have gone through these different changes with your body over the last 2 years, comparing, like, my body was this 2 years ago, and I no longer have that body, right? And so there's that constant battle between how we, the body that we're in, and how we see ourselves and how we get dressed on a daily basis. Now, if you find yourself that, okay, maybe you've gained some weight, and that weight gain is affecting your productivity, is affecting how you feel about yourself, right? There's nothing wrong with saying, okay, I'm going to take active measures by exercising, by eating healthier, to get back to my healthy body. There's nothing wrong with that. But in the meantime, what I do caution my clients with, and what I do caution you with, is not allowing those negative self-talk to affect the way you show up for yourself, and to really and to affect how you feel about yourself. Because once that seeps in, it does it does affect your productivity. It does affect your efforts to be visible within your brand and within your and within your career, right? You start to retreat. And so that's something that's a sign that your wardrobe and the way you're showing up may be causing you some disconnect and distress. And so we want to be able to get to that positive mindset and thinking of when it comes to our body. The other thing is that, and this is something that is happening right now, right? It's the transition, because of the different transitions that we would have gone through during this pandemic and throughout life, is that you're finding that you have an overwhelming amount of clothing in your closet, but you don't have anything to wear. And the immediate thought is like, okay, I need to go purge everything out of my closet, or I need to go buy new clothing because this is just not working. Why don't I have anything to wear? And I want to say to you, just pause for a second before you do that, because what may be happening with your wardrobe and may be happening with your closet is that you find you have changed. You've gone through certain changes. Maybe you've changed jobs. Maybe you've changed industry. Maybe you've changed location in terms of where you're living. And so there's a disconnect between what's in your closet and where you are right now in your life. So it's important to just take a beat and pause and do that assessment and see, is it that you don't have enough clothes, you have an overwhelming amount of clothes in your closet and nothing to wear? Or is it that you have changed, right? And so your closet needs to change with you as you go through this transition period in your life. And there's also avoiding one of the other things that I noticed. Like, I did this early in the pandemic, especially, given the fact that most of you may not if you're following my content, you may have known this before, that I moved from Antigua to the US like right before the pandemic. And so there was that period where my wardrobe needed to transition from, in the Caribbean, it's summer all year round, right? You wear shorts, you wear linen, you wear cotton, that type of clothing. And then here's that I was living in a new country, and so my wardrobe now needed to transition to fall, to spring, to summer, to these 4 different seasons. And so every time I was invited to go somewhere, especially during the winter, I would say no, I can't go because I don't have the right clothes to wear to go to these events. So you may find that if you find that you're avoiding social events because you don't have the right type of clothing in your wardrobe, this is, mentally it can affect you, because you really want to go out, you really want to interact. We are meant to be social beings. We're meant to have that community and to be around people. And so if you're avoiding stepping out and going out and putting yourself into these different rooms because your closet doesn't have the right pieces, then of course it will affect you mentally. It will cause you to feel like that emotional distress, like, why don't I have anything to wear? Like, what can I do differently? I'm just not really good at this. And again, those negative self-talk just reoccurring and will cause you to not feel great about yourself and how you show up in a different space. And the other thing is that what I find is that being constantly worried about, especially now where dress codes have changed. And so we're constantly worried. Like, I hear this so often. Is this appropriate for this business opportunity? Is this appropriate to wear at work now? Is this appropriate to, like, you looking in your closet and you're going through all these questions as to whether or not the pieces in your closet ideally will allow you to show up in these business settings, ideally would allow you to feel confident in the rooms that you're in. So being constantly worried as to whether or not the pieces that in your closet will allow you to show up confidently can cause you to feel emotionally drained and can cause you to just overwhelmed, right? And it creates this constant loop. So you go through this constant loop of you're overwhelmed, there's a decision fatigue, then you go through that shame and guilt, like, oh, my body has changed, I don't know how to dress it. Then you go through boredom. It's like, okay, I'm tired of the pieces in my closet, I need new pieces, I need new clothes. So you go and buy new clothes, or you get to that stage now where you have nothing to wear. And so what happens, you're just going in a circle in that loop because you haven't really built your wardrobe to align with who you are, making sure that your wardrobe is putting you at the front and center of your well-being, making sure that you're building a wardrobe that allows you to transition regardless of what's happening in your life, right? And so, yes, I've just kind of like, I'm insanely busy. I'm reading the comments. So thank you very much, Stephen and Zephyrin, for just engaging in the comments there. I appreciate that. And so what you want to do once you realize that you're going through that constant loop of overwhelm, decision fatigue, shame and guilt, boredom, and then you go to the cycle, just going through that cycle, and then you have nothing to wear. Then of course, for most women or the clients that I've worked with, it's like, okay, style is not for me. It's not important how I show up. And it is important how you show up, because the last week and a half when I was really struggling, it was being able to go into my closet and put on clothes that I knew I felt good in was like, I didn't feel depressed in that sense, because it's one thing when you're dealing with life challenges and then you don't feel connected to how you're looking and how you're presenting yourself. Like, I was on Zoom calls, I was on client calls, and I needed to make sure that I'm giving the right energy to my clients. I'm giving the right energy to my audience, and what I wear allow me to do that. And so I called it, basically what I was doing during that time is dopamine dressing. And so I made a post on LinkedIn where I talked about, just working through the week by dressing, capitalizing on this type of dressing, this style of dressing. And I realized, like, this is a new topic to some persons, right? I got comments like, oh, I never thought about that. I didn't know dopamine dressing was a thing. So I wanted to, part of this conversation, to really talk about what is dopamine dressing, right? Because there are some pros and cons to it. And so I want to focus a lot more on the positives of it, because there is some true science behind what we wear and how we show up. I know this is a conversation that I'm constantly having, where I'm talking about the importance of the effects of what you're wearing and how it affects how you feel, how it affects how your productivity level, how it affects just your overall self-worth and self-esteem, especially when you're struggling. So what is dopamine dressing? First of all, dopamine, I'm going to read the definition here for you. So dopamine is a type of neurotransmitter, right? And that's where our bodies produce dopamine, according to Maria Constantino, she's a lecturer in cultural and historical studies at London College of Fashion. And she defines it as saying that our bodies produce dopamine and our nervous system use it to send messages between our cells. And so when we talk about dopamine dressing, in that, because dopamine has so many different functions involving like reward, and whenever our brain disperse that dopamine, we feel excited, we feel motivated, we're more attentive, where we're more focused. And so whenever a large amount of dopamine is released, it creates a feeling of pleasure and reward, which can motivate us to really repeat the behavior. So in its natural sense, in terms of definition, dopamine dressing is dressing yourself happy. It's basically putting on clothing that allows you to feel good about yourself. It's that process of whether or not that's your favorite color, like wearing bright colors. I know generally when I am not feeling well, whether or not that's, I'm depressed or I'm physically not feeling well, I tend to want to grab clothing that express that, which is for me darker colors, right? I will grab the cozy sweater. I will grab something that really validates how I'm feeling. Now, dopamine dressing is the reverse. You're not validating that you're not feeling well. What you're doing is creating or infusing happiness into your day, into your wardrobe, making sure that when you get dressed, you're not allowing your emotions, like the negative emotions that you're going through and things that you're experiencing, to really dominate your just really dominate your day, right? So it's a matter of just adding that positivity to your wardrobe. Basically, that's what it is. Adding positivity to your wardrobe and making sure that you're paying attention to the colors that you wear when you're feeling happy. Like, what are some colors that you wear when you're feeling happy? For me, colors has always been that part of my personal style that allows me to not only feel happy but also feel confident. That may look differently for you. Like, pay attention to what do you wear when you are depressed, or when you're sad, or when you feel emotional, you're anxious. Like, what do you wear? And basically do the reverse if what you're doing doesn't allow you to really change your behavior in terms of providing you that dopamine shot that you need to feel happy in the moment, to feel happy with yourself. And so, Professor, I wanted to talk about this a little bit more, in that it's not tricking your brain. You're not tricking your brain. And also, it's not a substitute for therapy, right? If you find yourself like really struggling, that you do need that professional help, definitely reach out to someone, reach out to a licensed therapist to have that conversation with, but also look at how you're dressing and how you're showing up. It's been proven and tested basically that dopamine dressing does help to motivate us, and does help to change the way we see ourselves, and to really increase our level of confidence. I know Professor Karen Pine had explored this idea of dopamine dressing, and she found that when we wear a particular type of clothes that symbolizes something to us, that gives us meaning, that adds some level of memory, positive memory, that how we perceive ourselves does increase, right? That positivity and that confidence that we have for ourselves will increase. So you definitely want to look at it from that. Hi, Walter. Thank you very much for joining. And so you want to look at when you're getting dressed from that positive aspect. And so making sure that whatever you're choosing, whatever you're putting in your closet, allows you to feel great. I bought this pants a couple, I think probably last year, I think I bought it, or the year before. During Nordstrom's was having, like, they had the celebration season, like Christmas time, they have like the wardrobe collection that they'll have. And I was like, oh, I wanted something that's, for the season, that's really interesting, that's fun, that I can wear. And so I got this pants, saw it on the website, loved it, just loved the color, loved the gold splash in there. And I was like, oh, this can be very festive. I can wear this to an event. And I ordered the pants, got it, tried it on, fit, but it was itching me. And so I'm like, maybe because it was winter, my skin was dry, maybe I needed lotions. I had all these thoughts as to probably why it was itching. And so I took it off, put it on a hanger, and put it in my closet. And it wasn't until like recently, because I'm like, I buy clothing that are not seasonal, but I can wear all year round as well. So even though I bought this specifically for that celebration Christmas season, I knew I can wear it at any other time of the year as well. And so I was getting dressed for an event, and I just like, oh, let me grab these pants because I bought them and I haven't worn them. And so I put these pants on while I was getting dressed, and it was itching me. And so there is no way, at that point I was like, there's no way that I will feel happy. There was nothing that I can do to feel happy in this pants. So when you're thinking about your wardrobe and the pieces that you're putting into your wardrobe, think about it from that perspective. Like, are the pieces that you're putting in your wardrobe, will they allow you to, one, feel confident, and are they comfortable? And is it causing you any type of distress? If it's causing you any type of distress, like this pants that I just showed you and talked about, where it was itching me, then definitely take that out of your closet. That is not something that you want to wear. Like, I wouldn't even gift this to someone because I know how itchy it is. And so this just happened to be a waste, right? So just being more intentional and mindful about the pieces that you put in your closet so that you can have those wear clothing that really makes you feel happy. And so what can you do to achieve? Now, we're talking a little bit about dopamine dressing and making sure that you're putting pieces in your closet that allows you to feel confident, feel happy, feel like your overall wellness, like you're not constantly comparing your body. You're not wearing clothes that doesn't fit you. You're not showing up, wearing things that doesn't allow you to really express yourself and feel happy about where you are right now. So how can you really achieve that wardrobe wellness? Because I think because we have to get dressed every single day, like there's no question that you have to get dressed every day. right? You cannot do business, you cannot function in your career, you cannot function in life without getting dressed, unless of course you live in a nudist country. But we know we're not living in a nudist country, and clothes is required. And so it's important that you cultivate a closet and have things in your wardrobe that allows you, you know, to feel happy, to like your first, that's the first thing to do anything in life, to get on a Zoom call, to go to work, to go to the doctor, to play with your kids, whatever is it you're doing in your life, you need to put on clothes. And so it's important to have a wardrobe that helps you and facilitate your wellness. Because if you're not happy and you don't feel great in the clothing that you're wearing, then that translates and that goes into everything else. And that affects not only your confidence, but of course, how you show up. So what can you do to achieve this? A couple of things I want to share with you in terms of what can you do to have that wardrobe wellness. And the first thing is to get out of your comfort zone. I know that sounds weird, like getting dressed is already frustrating. I don't understand how to dress my body. I'm going through all these different changes, and I'm telling you to get out of your comfort zone. Now, if you go back to when I spoke about dopamine dressing, is that it gives you this happy feeling whenever you're wearing something incredible, whenever you're wearing something that, you know, just sparks, quoting from Marie Kondo, sparks joy, and really allows you to say like, oh my gosh, I feel great today. Like I feel great in the way I'm showing up despite what's happening in the world, but I feel great about myself. So get out of your comfort zone. Like, what is something that you've always wanted to wear? Maybe that's a color. What's a color that you may have been told don't look great on you? Maybe someone said to you, don't ever wear yellow because you don't look great in yellow, but you've always loved yellow. If you don't already have a yellow piece in your closet, be more intentional with your shopping, but get yourself a yellow piece. Because knowing that you're wearing something that's outside of your comfort zone, something that you may have been told not to wear, and you feel great in it, just allows you to be like, oh, it's like a new beginning. It's a new feeling. And so it creates that level of happiness because you're trying something different. You're trying something that you've always wanted to try. So really get out of your comfort zone when it comes to being able to create a wardrobe that amplifies and helps you to celebrate who you are, and being able to make sure that you're showing up and feeling great about yourself. The other thing that you want to do is to try bright colors. Like, I am going to say this like every single time: bright colors, wear colors. I appreciate anyone who, you know, who says that black is their power color and that's what they wear every single day and they feel great in it. Like, kudos to you. I'm happy that that works for you. But there is something about wearing colors. I mean, sunshine, when you think about the sunshine, you think about yellow, and that in itself makes you smile. Like, going out into the sun and taking a walk helps you to feel good. So can you imagine wearing yellow? Now, if yellow does not work for you, it's a color that you do not like, obviously don't wear it. But start incorporating those bright colors into your wardrobe. Looking at a simple way to like knowing what colors that you really like, look at what you wear often that you feel good in, that you really feel great in, and start adding those colors into your wardrobe. Because at the end of the day, once you are adding happy colors, happy clothing to your wardrobe, when you are standing in front of your wardrobe getting dressed, you wouldn't go through that overwhelm and shame and anxiety and frustration. Like, okay, nothing fits, nothing works for me. I need to, just remove everything from my closet and go shopping and start again, right? Being intentional about adding things to your closet that helps with your wellness will definitely helps. Not only, psychologically, it helps with how you show up as well. And the other option is just really deciding for yourself. One of the things that I hear is, how can I get dressed every day without spending so much time, right? And for a lot of persons, getting dressed seems to be a task. It seems to be overwhelming. It seems to be frustrating. And that's going back to some of the things that we tell ourselves, like, oh, I'm too fat. Oh, I don't have the right pieces in my closet to go to this. Oh, I wish I looked this way, or I wish, all the negative self-talk that we were repeating. So getting dressed can feel like a difficult thing. And so I want to share with you some options in terms of deciding on a minimalist and a maximalist style of dressing. This is not where you are creating a minimalist wardrobe by having 4 pieces, or a maximalist wardrobe by having 20 pieces. No, this is the style of dressing. So for me, I am a minimalist. I have a minimalist style of dressing. That means that I don't get dressed with a lot of pieces on. So looking at my image today, I decided that I'm going to braid my hair this way because I wanted to show up looking and feeling more relaxed or more comfortable. And I find whenever I wear braids, I feel more relaxed and more comfortable. So it's just something about it. I don't know. And I have my makeup done, I have some lipstick, and so I'm wearing these earrings. And because I'm wearing these long earrings, I decided not to wear any type of necklace, right? And so that is minimalist dressing, minimalist style of dressing, in that you're not just putting on everything. There's some persons who feel very confident and feel great in where you'll see them wearing, like, they'll have their hair done, and they'll maybe wear a head wrap, and they'll have glasses, and they have the earrings on, they'll have on a necklace, or they may have on a blazer. And there's so many different parts, moving parts to their personal style. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But where the frustration comes in whenever you're getting dressed is if you're trying to create a maximalist style of dressing, when ideally you are that person who would wear 1 or 2 pieces at once. So really deciding what type and style of dressing do you feel confident and comfortable wearing will allow you to feel at ease and feel more joy whenever you're getting dressed. So really think about, what do you like most when you're getting dressed? How many pieces do you wear at a time? How many pieces mentally and emotionally can you handle when putting together a wardrobe, when putting together an outfit? And the other thing that you want to think about whenever you're developing your wardrobe wellness is really think about avoiding shopping for new pieces whenever you feel emotionally drained, or you're looking for that dash of dopamine. We naturally will go, oh, let me go shopping, right? Because retail therapy is actually a real thing, because again, our brain produces that level of dopamine that makes us go, oh, I feel great today, I feel exciting. But what you want to do is to really pause at that moment, right? If you go into your closet and you realize you really don't have pieces that allow you to feel great about yourself, you really don't have a wardrobe that reflects and helps you to feel good and really taps into your well-being and how you show up, then of course, take a beat, pause first, and assess where you are in life in terms of how do you want to dress, what are some of the rooms that you're going into, really defining what your personal style is before you go shopping. Because what happens when we shop, when we want to feel great, is that we end up making bad choices. And if you're making bad choices and you have things in your closet that again doesn't reflect or make you feel good about yourself, then you're going down that rabbit hole of constantly feeling overwhelmed, going through that shame, going through that fatigue, going through that frustration, and at the end of it, having nothing to wear, just going over that cycle. And so you want to be able to, what happens when we're thinking about really creating that, having wardrobe wellness and really creating a wardrobe that we are feeling great about ourselves, is we are eliminating, what you want to do is to eliminate how you see yourself in terms of, are you comparing yourself, and just really making sure that you are creating a more positive experience and emotional experience whenever you're getting dressed. And so removing that level of frustration, removing that level of overwhelm during that process of getting dressed. Because let's be honest, a lot of us are going through some changes. A lot of us are um different transitions in life, right? And where my transitions in life may be different from yours, at the end of the day, waking up and learning to love our bodies, waking up and learning to love your image, waking up and learning to love your style throughout these changes can be difficult, right? It can be very exhausting and very draining as you're transitioning and not being able to feel great in your body, not being able to feel great in the clothing that you wear. It can affect how you show up, and it can result in maybe you hiding, where instead of showing up in your business, where you want to do more lives, you want to put yourself up for promotion at work, you want to just expand your career and your business, and because you're not feeling great, and because you're finding yourself just waking up every day hoping that you will love the body that you're in, hoping that and just trying to motivate yourself to love more of who you are in this present moment, you may isolate yourself, and isolation is the last thing that you want to do. Trust me, I know, as someone who, whenever I'm feeling depressed or down, I kind of retreat in myself, and I kind of isolate myself from my community and from people. So, and it does take some more toll on you. So you really want to not isolate yourself, and really like get up every day, and what can you do to make yourself happy? What can you do to feel great about yourself? I have this song from Mary J. Blige that I play on repeat every day. Beyonce's Cozy is now taking up most of that playtime that I have on my playlist. But Mary J. Blige has this song, Good Morning Gorgeous. And the moment that I heard that song, like, it just spoke to me. It spoke to where I know women are at right now, and where I am at right now. Just being able to look yourself in that mirror and say, I love me. I am gorgeous. And this is before, as she said, before you put on any makeup, before you get yourself ready, just standing in front of that mirror and say, I love me. I am gorgeous. And I know for a lot of you that may be something that's difficult right now, but once you do it one day, you don't even, my first suggestion is you don't have to do it like right away. Just play that song constantly on repeat for a couple of days, and you'll find yourself then take that next step where you're like, okay, look yourself in the mirror and say, I love me, I am gorgeous. And so I wanted to talk about what it means to we talked about what it means to really create that wardrobe wellness, and what is your next step, what is something that you're doing, because as you're transitioning throughout this season in your life, it's super important that, as I said, for you not to go shopping. Don't start with buying clothing, because that is just going to leave you feeling exhausted and overwhelmed with so many different pieces in your closet. So that's not your initial reaction. That should not be your initial reaction to feeling confident in your body and how you show up. And so the foundation of really transitioning your wardrobe and transitioning how you feel in your clothing and how you feel in life starts with clearly defining your personal style. Having a clear definition in terms of what that looks like would allow you to, regardless of the different changes that you're going through in life, it will really allow you to build your wardrobe in a way that honors where you are right now, regardless of your body size, shape, and where you want to go in life. And so I am super excited for this, because this is something that I've always wanted to do, is to have a community of women come together and for us to work on your personal style, work on your body confidence, work on your mindset around style and how you show up for yourself. And I'm like super, super excited for this. I launched this to my email list earlier today, talking about the style and body confidence workshop that my style. I'm so excited, right? My style and body confidence workshop. This is like the first time ever I'm doing this. And it's as I said, for us as women to get into a space to talk about the changes and the challenges that we're going through, because we don't always have that space to talk about it, and being able to cultivate a wardrobe that helps you and that reflects you, and at the same time helps you to show up for yourself feeling confident in your body. It's 2 days. It's going to be 2 days of content of me teaching, and of course you're going through the workbook and defining what your personal style is. There will be a replay, and so some of the things that we're going to be talking about on it's on day one, we're going to define what your personal style is, having a clear understanding as to what your personal style is. And on day two, we will talk about your body and styling your body, making sure that you know how to put clothing in your closet that fit and flatters your body type, even if you have a large bust, or maybe you have a tummy bulge, or maybe you have hips, or maybe, you know, just trying to dress your post baby body, is giving you those strategies and tips that you need to dress your body type. So it's 2 days, August 30th and 31st. We'll talk about overhauling your style. I know because of the different changes that we're going through and that you would have been going through, it's like, how do I overhaul my style on a budget? Like, that's a big thing. How do you do that? And to really overhaul your style on a budget, you have to, first of all, clearly define what your style is. Because if you don't define it, what happens is that you end up adding those pieces in your closet that doesn't allow you to cultivate that level of wellness. And so when you clearly define what your you have that confidence in your style and your body, here's what happens, right? This is what happens when you feel confident in your body, when you feel confident in your style. You start asking your worth, and asking your worth is because you start seeing value in yourself. You start feeling confident in yourself. So that may, for you, that may mean increasing your speaking fees. That may mean pitching yourself for more business opportunities. That may be raising your hand and using your voice more at work, because you feel confident in your body. You feel confident knowing that the clothing that you're wearing really allows you to express who you are, really ties into your sense of self, and you're confident in your self-worth, and you're not questioning, you know, whether or not you're showing up in a positive way. Basically what it does is you're reinforcing your position as well as a leader with a powerful visual presence, right? If one of the things that you're doing right now, like you're holding back from being more visible in your business, you're holding back from being more visible at work, understanding what your personal style is, clearly defining that and knowing how to craft that and cultivate a wardrobe of pieces in your closet that allow you to express that, and feeling confident in the body that you're in right now as you work towards your version of a healthier body, then that allows you to, you know, show up more, right? And having that visual presence, especially at work or on social media, allows you to amplify your brand, allows you to amplify your message, and it also allows you to tell the story of you. For most of you, I posted, I think it was yesterday, a photo of myself in where I was wearing these blue pants, white blazer, and striped shirt. And I talk about, you know, how my personal style journey has evolved from my supervisor saying to me, you know, just having the courage and just showing me that love and support, and saying to me, and basically telling me the importance of my image matching my level of confidence and expertise, and how I'm showing up, and what is it I wanted for myself and my goals and my ambition. And having that conversation with me really did change my life. It really did change how I started to show up in at work. It really did change how I built my closet and the pieces that I put in my closet, because those pieces that I put in my closet told my story. It was tailored to me specifically, and not where I'm, shrinking in an ideal of what I should be wearing or how I should be showing up, trying to fit into the norms of what's expected of us as women, like wear that navy blue suit, wear that black suit, and this is the way you show up. And so learning how to clearly define your personal style, learning how to, what is your silhouette of dressing? What is that style type that you gravitate to, that works for you, allow you to really show up boldly. It allows you to tell that story of you, as I said. And being able to connect your personal and your professional style, and just having one wardrobe is something that throughout this workshop is something that you will learn as well. You will learn how to cultivate a wardrobe that ties in your personal and your professional lifestyle without having to say, okay, I'm going to build one wardrobe for work and I'm going to have one wardrobe for my more social life. It's like, no, you put things in your closet that really reflects you and that you can wear it anytime for any lifestyle activities in your life. And of course, the other benefit is to dressing at your level of comfort, right? Comfort. When it comes to dressing comfortably, it doesn't mean you have to dress looking like frumpy. It's more dressing comfortably in a way that is comfortable for you, but appropriate for the environment that you're going into, that's appropriate for the message that you want to send when it comes to your personal style. And having that confidence in your personal style, having that confidence in your body and how you're feeling about your body, knowing that you are projecting the right message and an image when it comes to your personal style. So if this is something that you are looking towards, like you're in that space of trying to define your personal style to make it more congruent with who you are right now, and of course understanding how to dress your body type. So I want to invite you to register. Registrations are now open at styletoimpact.com/confidence. This is, I'm going to have a limited amount of space. This is at the Founders. I must say this registration is for this 2-day workshop, August 30th and 31st, is at the founding price. So if you are thinking about working on your personal style, if you want to have a stronger image, you want to feel more confident in your body, in your style, then I highly recommend, yes, I'm tooting my own horn, highly recommend that you sign up for this workshop at the founders fee, because after I would have hosted the August workshop, the price will go up. So if you have any questions on this, then definitely shoot me a message. You can do so here on LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn, or you can send me an email as well at solita@styletoimpact.com. If you have any questions on the 2-day style and body confidence workshop, I'm so looking forward to cultivating a space where we can come in a safe space and really have this conversation on what it means to dress for yourself, defining your personal style. So to register, as I said, go to styletoimpact.com. I want to thank everyone for joining. If you're watching the replay, thank you very much for coming back and watching the replay. If you were here live, I appreciate you being on this journey with me, and I will see you all on my next LinkedIn Live, and looking out for your registration confirmation. Looking forward to working with you all. Thank you very much and have a wonderful day. Remember, it's important to cultivate a wardrobe that helps you to reflect that helps to really align with who you are today, and at the same time cater towards your well-being. Have a wonderful day, guys. Take care. Bye. Thank you very much for joining. Bye.